So we're going to have to see where things shake out for our first map of the day between these two. I keep trying to look at Aligulac to see where different matchups have taken place for both of these players, but Innovation and Trap must not have played in the month of May. It must have been during GSL, but a little bit before that, because I keep trying to find it. And I'm struggling. Oh, we lost Innovation there. Don't know if it don't know if it'll be back anytime soon, but there it is. I found it. Yeah, and it was a 3-2. It was a 3-2 in GSL. Found it. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And then, of course, Trap making it all the way to the semifinals. It was a very, very dramatic best of 7 between Maru and Trap. And Trap trying to claw himself back in, but not quite finishing it out. So, of course, Trap's going to want to reignite his aggression here in PvT. He's going to go for the very quick Twilight Council. Force Innovation 1-1-1. Getting a reactor on the factory right away, so willing to sacrifice a little bit of the timing. Have a little bit more confident push. Trap's actually just going to go for Blink right away. So this should be a very aggressive timing. Adept should be able to scout up and see something super standard. Nothing too crazy coming out of his camp. But it is going to be in... okay. Gonna have a medevac here. Could possibly be a really nice Hellion drop into the main. So both players will play rather aggressively right out of the gate. But it will be bio for Innovation as he winds himself up here in game number 1. Oh, these Hellions are going to get a lot of good damage done. Forcing their way into the wall here, but getting caught up on the ramp will be a little bit complicating. But finding the mineral line is going to be a lot better situation as well. Look at all of these probe kills. 7 probe kills end up going down. That is not great damage here for Trap. Now, Trap also is going to have his tech revealed on top of it. So the medevac's going to come out here on the map, but what is it coming out to? All of the... Oh, is he just going to fake a mine drop? Oh, he absolutely is. He absolutely is going to fake a mine drop. Try to get his opponent to panic here. Oh, this is brilliant. This is a very good mind game here by Innovation. That should actually keep a lot of Trap's aggression back at home. He doesn't want to accidentally lose more workers to something that he could easily do. Now, our observer is noticing that that stim pack is a little bit delayed. He does have a significant mining advantage over his opponent. Mules, so good. Trap, though, remaining calm, gets his third base location on site. Now, here's that observer that was going to allow all of those Blink Stalkers to come on up into the main base. Instead, it is just now going to be used to do a pretty plain scout. Double tech lab on those barracks will get combat shield and stim pack out in pretty quick fashion. Plus one infantry weapon already on the way as well. So now Trap's going to try and hit his timing regardless here, not letting himself get too derailed in this engagement. Yeah, the observer's still in place. There is one tank, though, out at the main. But all of the bios just got loaded up into that medevac. It is going to be close enough, though, that we'll be able to come back and defend. Trap thinking about making that jump up and decides against it. I think he had vision of that tank and didn't want to blink into the tank. Instead, Innovation's just going to push forward with all of his army. But look at the army disparity here, 51 to 18. Yeah, Innovation is just going to strike in a very, very confident window, taking down so many of those probes. Despite Trap having the probe advantage once again, really, really set Trap back. Oh, this is going to be brutal. Almost all of those stalkers immediately get cleaned up by the 8 Marine drop, and that has nothing to do with this brutal main army push that's going to be coming here on the bottom side. And Innovation just squeezes Trap, and he gives him the hug of death, unfortunately. Yeah, Trap's just going to have to tap out. GG. Oh, Innovation. Just going to be one? It's going to be one proxy barracks. I was kind of wondering if I was missing the second blip going out onto the map. Now, this just has to be to get Trap to panic. Because Trap's going to be able to scout this almost immediately. It's still double gas right away. But Innovation's only committing one barracks to this. So let's see how Trap feels about this. He is going to come up. He is going to see the lack of a barracks. He's not going to see anything else. Is he going to overcommit? He's going to build a Zealot right away, which is not a terrible choice. It's going to be a proxy 1-1-1. No. Proxy 1-1-1 out on the map. I love it. I cast the Junior Championships, and Wannabe Beyond is like super famous for this. It's a very, very cool play. And this is the kind of uniqueness that we see in some of the team games. This is not ever a build that I think Innovation would be super confident playing in what we'll call a very high stakes match. But now we're getting an opportunity to see that. Yeah. I love it. I love it. This is so creative. So the problem for Trap is that he doesn't necessarily know where any of this is existing. He knows it's not there, or he's not in the main. Where does he go with it? He's going to wander down to the right corner, the correct corner, if you will. So actually, he is going to be able to get out there. We'll spot those double Hellions almost immediately as they pop out. So that ends up going rather well. But it is going to be an attempted mine drop. And with an armory back on the backside of the main, if this is allowed to finish, that could be very effective. Because not only is it going to be a nice little proxy, it's going to be cloaked mines and finding more chaotic damage here. His Innovation, he is going to squeak out 3 probe kills as a result of the proxy shenanigans. And I don't think that Zealot ever got enough information here to determine what's actually coming. You have to have a good sense that you know what's coming. You did see the medevac, and it is a reactored factory. So the chances of it being a mine drop are just exponentially greater. But not being able to see those mined for a significant amount of time is going to be obnoxious, to say the least. So 2 of those mines have not been dropped just yet. There is more damage potential. 4 probes have been killed so far. There will be an observer on the way, so All-up Hellion harassment here is going to pick off a few more of those workers, or at bare minimum is going to allow those mines to get dropped into the main base here. 11 probes end up going down. 2 more, 3 more end up falling. So 14 probes in total. Oh, Innovation. Trap was able to get as good of a read as he possibly could on the scout, but still was not enough. Loses more than a handful of workers. So now he sits down, 10 worker count. Innovation able to build more and more of his economy up as he gets into his natural base. I mean, that is the upside for Trap, is that he does have that second nexus, but being down so far on workers is just insanely difficult to try and come back from. So not a completely terrible situation here for Trap. He is managing to hang on close in supply, but Trap's going to have to rely on some quick tricks to keep himself relevant in this series. So he's going to get into the robotics bay, more than likely producing himself an opportunity to do some fast warp prism disruptor play. But as we saw in game number 1, Innovation was able to hit right before Trap's initial ploys were going to be relevant. And that seems to be what will end up being the case here in game number 2 as well. The Raven does pop out, so the Observer, while useful, not going to be as useful as it could be. Here comes the Warp Prism, and there's the Warp Prism speed as well. So Trap even, unfortunately, just a little bit behind on his execution. There goes the Observer. That is a bit unfortunate. But he has, I think, the vision that he needs. He knows what to expect. Just a matter of making sure it happens. And here comes the Disruptor. Good news on the upgrade timing is that Warp Prism speed, Gravitic Drive, I believe it is called, will be done about the time that he needs to zoom across the map. So that will be a very good timing. It could possibly work out that it times right as Innovation leaves his main. Well, he's just going to send one medevac. He's going to leave a majority of his army back at home. Now Trap going to transition behind this. He gets the Twilight Council. He gets his forge down. Innovation, though, starting to run away with his economy. Oh, the tank, though, makes that very complicated. So Trap not even going to be able to utilize his... not going to be able to utilize his fast warp prism at all. All right, 3 stalkers here in the backside of the base should be enough. He does aggressively warp in, or defensively warp in rather, a few more, so that won't be too big of harassment. But Innovation has already got 20 plus army advantage over his opponent. Is going to be moving up to the 3rd base location. That is more than likely just going to be a cancel. There's not going to be that much here to stop this push. The Trap's going to have to withdraw back to his natural, and the lead of Innovation just continues to expand despite the ability to keep a defensive position. Immediately losing out on that Colossus is so brutal, but 2 Disruptor shots on the backside pick up the tanks. Innovation, though, way too confident of that push, and he's going to take a quick 2-0 victory